Hello and welcome to Getting Started with Automize. So I already have Automize installed, as you can see, in my plugins. And to access it, I can right click and push inspect. Now this will open up the inspect element in my web browser. The other way you can do that is just by simply pushing F12 on your keyboard. So that will toggle it. I prefer to have it on the right side. I think Automize works a little better. You get more space to work with, but yours may be at the bottom like this. To toggle between them, you can simply hit these three buttons and just move it right back. Same with the activity bar. If this is not that important, but you can switch the location of this bar up here. Now to open Automize, you can just push this plugin button and it'll open up Automize. If you're opening it for the first time, you're going to be put on this screen here and it'll ask you to choose a language. I'm going to leave it as JavaScript as it's easy to demonstrate the selector that it picks for us. And we'll put it on quick mode for now. So as you can see, this is going to be the main screen that you're put into. It looks exactly like the console, or sorry, the elements screen. And we'll just talk about this top row for now. So this button right here is a button that I tend to push a decent amount, as when you highlight something and then if you don't pick a different one, it'll leave it highlighted. So you can clear that by pushing this button just like that. The refresh button will just reload Automize. It stays up to date, but sometimes something may be out of date, or you may just want to reset it for whatever reason. You can just push that button right there. And the other buttons we can talk about in a moment. So here, I'll restart it. Next, what you can do is you can select children like this, just like how you would in the elements panel. And there are some settings and other things that we'll cover in a different video. Now, the main use case is going to be selecting elements. So let's say I want to click on this search button. I want to generate code to select this search button. So the easiest way to do that is by simply pushing our selector. And so now that it's depressed, that you can see it's enabled. And then I can just click the button and it'll show up on my screen here. And then Automize will automatically generate a selector for us. So you can see it's blue. We're going to just get rid of that for now. Oops, like that. Now, Automize is pretty smart. It'll pick a good selector for you. If you're simply just writing a script to, say, scrape a website or something like that, I would just add this to my keyboard and then in my script. So as you can see here, it'll select that button for us, just like that. You can change the language anytime you want. So in here, if I just, let's say I was writing a CSS selector for it, we can come back here and this would be the CSS to select that same button. But I'll leave it on JavaScript for now. And you can switch it to anything you want. So here would be Microsoft Playwright. It depends on the language that you want to use. Now, if you notice, when something is selected, it'll have these AI selection errors. So I can just sort through all the different selections that the AI would generate for me. Now, this is more for writing a test for this search button. So let's say if you're writing a test for this, generally you want to think like a user. So in this case, maybe I would have inside of my main, right? That makes sense. I'm looking for a role that has a search, and then we're getting the button inside of there. So if I reselect this here, it'll make more sense in a second. So as you can see, sometimes this happens. You just refresh and re-click on it. So like this, and we'll go back to that role search. Let's do that like that main role search button, just like that. So as you can see, here's the main, and then in here is our role search, and then there's our button. Now, if you're getting this specific, what I would recommend is turning off quick select mode, and then coming here, clicking on this, and then when you click on this one more time, then you can pick exactly what you want. So usually what I would do is I would clear all of my selections, and then I would say, okay, let's get the main. It turned green, so that means, okay, good. That's the only one. Then let's do our role search. Okay, yep, so here it is. That's our only one, good. And then we'll do the button. Great. Now, what happens if I wanted, let's say, this input? Okay, these are hidden inputs, but, well, if let's say we wanted this div right there. If I clicked on this, as you can see, it matches some other elements. So this is how Automize really lets you dial in exactly what you want to select. So in here, there would be our button that I would just simply copy, clear, and then I would close. I could move on. Well, let's say if I wanted to select this English button, I could click this, and I probably want the A tag, as this is just the text. So we click on that one, and it looks like it's A with our data slogan. Now, or I guess just simply data slogan. If I wanted to select the A tag in it, then I could just push that and it'll update my selector. Maybe I wanted to say nav A, and then the first link in our nav. You can do that as well. So that is kind of how you would select elements. I'll switch it back to quick mode as now I'm not really too concerned about my specific selector. Whoops. Here, let's go back to the main Wikipedia homepage here, just like that. So if another thing you can do is you can do, let's say I want to get some content from this. So if we wanted to get, usually what I'm doing is getting the inner text or maybe getting a value from it. So to demonstrate inner text, you can push get value inner text, and then it'll append whatever it needs to do to get the inner text. Some languages like Puppeteer, I think, are a little more involved. So here it'll add the parentheses, and then it'll do the evaluate for you. It just saves you some time if you don't have this memorized. And if I were to copy this and I paste it straight in my browser, you can see that says search inside of there, which is very convenient. There's other things you can do depending on the language. Playwright, I think, has the most. So you can interact with it. If in your Playwright script, sorry, you can click it. You can hover things. You can expect. So let's say we wanted to expect that the value, it'll have some value. So I would copy this, and when I put it in my script, I would update my value to be whatever I want. Most of the time, this would be a variable or some kind of network event or something like that. Same thing you can, and then also you can still do the get value here as well. So that covers the basic usage of Automize. In another video that I'll link, we will mention our test automation runner as well as network events. Thanks for watching. Enjoy Automize.